Take a little flight. Let's get lost in love. Let's go. Ma, it's no problem to hold you, tongue stroke you, please you like I'm supposed to. Touch spots that ain't ever been touched, and I won't stop till both these squirrels get they nuts. Hey, you know it's good when we freakin', king size squeaking after I ease in. If you was with me, baby, 24/7, best believe that every single day would be a sweet day. Curry sweeter than the cheesecake. If you want beef, prophecy will be a beefcake. I make love to you till you fall asleep, leave you with sweet dreams between the sheets.
Was the night before that night. I was born on that day, but not last night. Once upon a time, I had my cash right. Plug called, he ain't act right. I'm far from a slow nigga in this fast life. He pulled up, I got low, hit the black light. Once upon a time.
What's good, everybody? It's man Big Don coming live and at you another True Players podcast episode. Off the debacle of the New York Knicks game last night, which I watched from second quarter to the end of the game. It was a good game as far as, quality of play and things like that. But this is what bothers me about the entire game. This, like the previous few games, Knicks had big leads in. This game was a winnable game. Okay, what happened was you have so-called superstar players who get paid superstar max money, who act as if the world owes them something. And yes, I'm talking about Julius Randle. This guy had a great game going into the end, towards the end of the third quarter, and he decides to toss out the game because he got shoved in the back by Cam Johnson. The Knicks was holding on to a 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter. The Knicks struggled to score buckets in the fourth quarter. Don't you think they needed Julius Randle to help ease that pressure that they were getting from the Phoenix Suns with the defense that they just turned on the defense in the fourth quarter? I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you pay this guy all this money, and he's acting like a little child now, as if everything's entitled to him. What happened to Julius Randle that worked hard for everything he got the last two seasons? Playing smart basketball, getting teammates involved. What happened to that Julius Randle? When I say get teammates involved, I mean him staying in the game so the team could win a basketball game. I get it. The last time he went west before the All-Star break, he was scoring close to 30 points per game. But scoring 30 points per game, what did that amount to? They still lost. Now they're on a 7-game losing streak. And I believe at least all the games that they lost, they had a big lead. What's going on with this team, ladies and gentlemen? This team that went 41-31 last year, now they're 26-38 and 39 right now. They're not going to make the playoffs, and big changes are going to come at the end of the season. Big changes, because this cannot continue. If I was a GM, I would bench Randle for the rest of the season, just for what happened yesterday. And it wasn't just yesterday. It was a culmination of what has been going on the entire season with him. He is not focused on the game. He's too interested in fighting with referees over getting fouled. Too interested in starting shoving matches with other players on other teams. How can I say? I forgot to say they said. Well, Julius Randle has been figured out, thanks to Nate McMillan in the playoffs last year. And then everybody in the NBA has caught on. And this guy, yes, he's a talented basketball player, but he's a talented basketball player, but he's not a talented team player. His team player status is subpar, in my opinion, because of his mentality, because of his thin skin, his selfish ways. He should not have gotten out of that. He should not have gotten ejected out of that basketball game. That's selfishness. That is utter selfishness. And where's Thibodeau? Is this guy supposed to be a disciplined coach? A defensive coach? But yet, when Julius Randle goes off and does this on countless occasions, whether he's not getting the ball, or he's missing a shot, or the fans are booing him. He's always reacting to something else except working on the next play to make the team better. This is what this is what he's focused on. Shoving other players. The Knicks needed him last night. They should have won that basketball game yesterday. I know a few friends of mine posted on Facebook it was a good game. It's tough to lose a good game like that. No. It's not tough to lose a good game like that. It's a game that you should have never have lost because one, Devin Booker was not playing because of protocol. Two, Chris Paul's out with a thumb injury. Two of their best players weren't even playing. And you got beat by Cam Johnson and Ayton and Payne. This is why Phoenix went to the NBA Finals last year. Without their two best players, they still came back and won a basketball game. This is a top seed team in the Western Conference, and they played as if they wanted more than the New York Knicks, who are trying to fight to get to the play-in game to make the playoffs, and that in itself is sad. I'm gonna play a clip from Thibodeau's press conference.
I guess first, what did you think of the ejection?
Brought to you by MSG Network. All right, guys, I'm gonna play this the press conference. Stay tuned.
I guess first, what did you think of the ejection? What even triggered it?
Yeah, just I got to look at the replay. It's tough to lose him. He had a great game going, so it's part of it.
Are you concerned about Julius right now, and just in terms of why he would lose his temper at that moment when the team had all the momentum?
Well, I'm concerned about everything, and the shame of it is I thought we came out with a great effort to start the game. We had the game going in a good way, and we fell short in the end, and it's disappointing to come out with a loss. So that part is disappointing. And then, we have to have the mental toughness to get through this.
Do you know what spurred Julius and Cam getting that?
I don't.
Have you actually had any words with Julius?
I haven't talked to him yet. Yeah.
I mean, Cam Johnson in the fourth quarter, he's one of those young players who what he did in that fourth quarter, what did you make of him?
Yeah, no, he's a great shot maker. He's a great shooter, so he got loose. And, it's tough going down the stretch. I thought, and I want to look at the film first, but, we got to clean up our fouls. The ones, some of them are tough that, like they could go either way, but we got to be disciplined and not whack down, and then they went to the line, they made theirs, and we didn't make ours. And that was probably the difference in the game. And then we saw it at the end. We missed the free throw, and the ball got batted around, hit 3 or 4 different people. They come up with it, and they bank in a 3 for the win, so we got to come up with that ball.
So some of you guys were saying the other day, we just need a win that will break this confidence or whatever. When you see another one like this, get away and pile on.
Yeah, you just got, again, mental toughness. When you face adversity, being mentally tough is the most important thing to be in any situation. So, we can't hang our heads. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We got to get out there and fight. That's what this is about right now. This is about our fight, our will, determination, togetherness, our spirit, all of that. We got to make it happen.
Not every one of them, obviously, but a bunch of those Cam Johnson threes in the fourth quarter were pretty clean looks. Was that good offense? Was that you guys missing rotations?
Again, I thought Payne was having his way with us. So you got into the paint, you created havoc, and you got to get the ball stopped, and you got to be in early, you got to get out early, you got to read the ball well. And so, and their bigs put pressure on the rim. So you got to take care of that too. So, but again, it's, they shoot 44%. We out rebound them by 16, right? We should be walking out of here with a win.
When Julius gets ejected in a moment like that, with you guys up 10 at the time and you let go of it, do you talk to him about the context of that and what happens after? Do you just
well, you talk to your players every day. Like that's an important part of the job, and you want your team to understand why you either win or lose, but you also have to have an understanding. It's an emotional game, but you can't cross over that line. That's you got to know where to stop. And none of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but we got to be disciplined.
Did you give a message to the team sort of about the mental toughness, or what was your message to the team after a loss?
Yeah, you don't say a whole lot after the game. You're going to hit on a couple things, but then I'd like to, look at the film, take a good look at what actually did happen, and then present to them, what we did well, what we have to correct, and how we move forward, and then also get ready for our next game. So it doesn't end, and that's why you want to establish routine right at the beginning of the year for everything that you're going to go throughout the course of the year. So, and sometimes it can change very quickly. Things can go from good to bad real fast, and they can go from bad to good real fast. And sometimes it's just like it's a hustle play that gets you going. So right now nothing is going our way. We got to make it go our way.
Talked, this was like a couple of games ago, about a lack of confidence that he thought you guys had in fourth quarters. How do you solve that?
Well, the confidence is going to come from your preparation. That's where confidence comes from. So, and confidence can wane. Like if you have a run of shot making in the fourth, it'll give you confidence. So, basically over the course of the season, we've averaged 25 points a game, a quarter in the fourth, and we've given up 25. So it's been a wash. And prior to tonight, we're shooting about the same percentage that we're defending at, which is pretty good. Now we're not like the rebounding has been good, and our free throw shooting has to be better. Yep.
There you have it. The press conference from last night. Listen, I hear what he's saying, but the fact of the matter is the problem was not the effort. The problem is the mental toughness through everybody, including the coach. You have to question the coach's mental toughness in this game as well. And the reason I say that is because mental toughness comes when you're able to adjust to the situation at hand. And I stick to what you usually do. Mental toughness, that's what I call you got to step out of your routine to make the team, to enable the team to win the basketball game. And the reason why I say that is this. Cam Reddish comes to the game in the fourth quarter. The Knicks are still struggling to hold on to that lead. RJ Barrett is struggling throughout the game, but he's still 6 for 26. He's still got 20 points. Mitchell Robinson is playing a hell of a game, getting 17 rebounds and 17 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 steals and 3 blocks. These were the guys that was keeping the Knicks in the game as a trio. Why in the hell did Thibodeau take out Cam Reddish and put Evan Fournier back in the game? That messed up the rhythm of the entire team, and eventually the Suns got within 1 point or even tied the game while Fournier was still in the game, and you brought Reddish back in the game to try to restart it, to get everybody's mojo back up again. Cam Reddish should have never been taken out of that game for Evan Fournier. I don't care if he's a veteran. I don't care if he's a three-point shooter. I don't care. The team was flowing better with Cam Reddish on the floor with Barrett and Mitchell Robinson as the top 3 guys making the offense. Yes, Peyton Payne did beat him up in the game because you got a two guarded Alec Burks who's guarding him. Alec Burks is not a point guard. Look, I understand Derrick Rose is out again still. I understand Kemba Walker has been shut down for the rest of the season. I think part of it is because of how he's been treated earlier in the season. Plus his knees gave out on him. But McBride, what happened to Deuce McBride? What happened to McBride? He's on the bench. He plays some defense. How about you insert him into the game to play defense against Payne? To try to slow him down and keep Reddish in the game. RJ Barrett, yes, he did struggle. He tried his hardest. He tried to will this team to a win. Let me tell you something about RJ Barrett. This team is RJ Barrett's team. It's not Julius Randle's team. Okay? It's not Julius Randle's team. This team seems to rise up when RJ Barrett is leading them on the floor with the baskets. It's just a different feel to the team when he's doing the leading and not Julius Randle. Some of the teammates don't even like. I don't think they like Julius Randle personally. It's the subtle things I see when I actually sit there and watch a full basketball game when he's playing. It's not the same feel anymore as it was last year. It's just not. And his team's going to miss the playoffs. And Tom Thibodeau is going to lose his job. Reason being because he's too rigid to his routine, too rigid in his coaching. And the example was taking out Cam Reddish to put in Evan Fournier, which he gives you a 30-point game once every 8 games. But let me tell you something. He's in RJ Barrett's way a lot. The adjustments in the fourth quarter, you had Alec Burke bring the ball up court. How about you have RJ Barrett bring the ball up court more than what he did? RJ Barrett didn't start bringing the ball up court till the last 3 minutes of the game? That should have been early in the fourth quarter. Let him do a pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson up top. See, that's where you miss Julius Randle. You inability to have to play a two-man game with your two best players. This is why I miss Jeff Van Gundy. I miss him a lot as a New York Knicks head coach because he had Latrell Sprewell and Allen Houston who played the same position. Latrell sacrificed to play the three, but Jeff played off his two best players. I remember the certain offense Jeff used to run. He used to have either let Al used to pick for Latrell, and Latrell goes to the post and posts up the player, or the other way around. And it worked magically at key points of the game. This is what Thibodeau should be doing with Randle and Barrett, because Derrick Rose is not there. And for the sake of the argument, it just seems like Thibodeau's success is based on how if and when Derrick Rose plays. Because with other point guards, he can't seem to do the same thing. Without Derrick Rose, he's under 500 as a Knicks head coach. Check it out. Look it up. When Derrick Rose is not playing, Tom Thibodeau as a Knicks coach is under 500. And I'm gonna tell something about Leon Rose and World Wide West and Scott Perry. Pay Mitchell Robinson, please. Pay him. And the thing is that Mitchell Robinson is not even developed yet. This is raw. Everything he's doing is based on raw ability. He hasn't even been able to been coached into being a legitimate big man all around. Yes, he struggles with free throws as well as most of the team does. That's part of the reason why they lost this basketball game, because they didn't hit their free throws. Alec Burke missed a key free throw at the closing moments of the game, which enabled Cam Johnson to hit that Baker three-pointer to win the game. Had Alec Burke hit that free throw, we go to overtime and we take it from there. RJ Barrett, again, he scored 20 points, 6 of 26 from the field, but he was 7 and 10 from the free throw line. Let me double check this guy. I got my clipper up right now. 7 and 10 from the free throw line. This team has to do a better job hitting their free throws. That's another problem. Forget about the defense. Forget about the defense. Not when you have when you go into the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead. Every game Knicks have lost since before the All-Star break until now has been has been a double-digit lead. Before the All-Star break, they were losing 20-point leads. I understand they don't have a point guard. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. They don't have Derrick Rose because I haven't seen Thibodeau be successful with any other point guard but Derrick Rose in his career, in his coaching career. Have not seen it. Isn't Dennis Smith Jr. on the waiver wire? I understand he didn't do shit for the Knicks, but at least he's a body who could play point guard, who's familiar with the system. Why don't the Knicks pick him up? Because you need a legitimate point guard. If you're not going to pay Grimes, I mean, who's it? No, not McBride. I'm sorry, Grimes is injured. McBride. I keep getting them two mixed up. If you don't play, McBride is a smaller guard, but he could defend. Get somebody out there who could defend, and let RJ Barrett bring the ball up court. Because when Julius Randle's playing the game, he sure bring the ball up a lot. Much to my chagrin. He should be looking at easy shots, not sitting there trying to be point forward. I don't know. Julius Randle has this thing about he think he's LeBron James or some shit that he deserves to bring the ball up court. No, you're not that good, man. You're a good player, but you're not great. Your mental capacity is subpar. If you ask me, subpar. The reason why you score 20 points per game is based on talent. Yes, you are a talented basketball player, but you're weak mentally. Think about it for 1 second. He scored 24 and a half points last season. Was it also last season? Last season, he was a little bit more mentally stronger than he is this year. This year's play, he's scoring about 20 points per game. And he's getting ejected out of the game. He's letting referees' lack of foul calls get under his skin, throw him off his game. Letting players shove him in the back. He has to prove that he's the toughest guy on the court. We don't need you to do that. We need you to win games. We don't care about tough guy shit. We want Julius Randle to help the Knicks win games and get into the playoffs. And this season, based on his contract that he got, 4 years, $157 million, he has not done that. He's failed. That's why, in my opinion, he should not be in this team for next year. Him and Fournier, who seems to get to Barrett's way, and Barrett's trying to make plays for his teammates. It seems that Fournier's in the goddamn way. We can't have that. Reddish should have been that. Reddish should have never been taken out. Reddish should have been on the floor for the entire fourth quarter, and just maybe we would have had a different result. Just maybe. For me, Evan Fournier is overrated. He's an okay player, not a second scorer, not a third scorer. He's a complementary piece. Him and Randle, both players with big egos, and I think that's where the problem with the team is. You got two players on that team who has inflated egos about their offensive game. That's a problem for this team. Like I said, I spoke about Tom Thibodeau's inability or not making the adjustment quick enough to let RJ Barrett bring the ball up court and run pick and roll with either Cam Reddish or with Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, my man, he played a hell of a game. His tip back put the Knicks up 114. to 112. 114 to 112. He put the Knicks up by 2 points. And to see this team lose by a 3-point shot by Cam Johnson, that scuffle with Randle probably woke him up. And this boy could shoot. Cam Johnson could shoot his ass off. See, that's why the Phoenix Suns were in the NBA Finals last year. Look at the depth of players they have on that team. Monty Williams, the former Knick, has done a great job with that basketball team. But I can't say the same about my coach. Am I ringing along for him to be fired? No, I'm not ringing along to be fired, but he needs to be more flexible in his coaching and with the players that he has in his arsenal. Albeit this team from last year is a better offensive team on paper, they're much worse defensively than they were last year. But offense was the problem. That's why they couldn't beat Atlanta. They figured out Randle, and no one else could do nothing. And RJ Barrett was being in my opinion, was froze out by Randle in the playoffs. To some degree. Not entirely, to some degree. Like I said, Drew, this is RJ Barrett's team. It's time for RJ Barrett to take the charge, lead this team to the future, to the promised land. I seen this man drop 46 points against Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. To the point that Jimmy Butler was giving him props. Jimmy Butler was giving that man his props. And had he made more of his free throws, he would have dropped 50. He was soft for 20 from the free throw line that game. If he went 16 of 20, he made 50 points. Look at that draft with Zion Williamson, John Morant, and RJ Barrett. If you do that draft again, John Morant is going to be drafted first, number 1, and RJ Barrett drafted number 2. And then Zion at 3. And that's only because Zion is not available. He's injured. But where do we go from here with the New York Knicks? I'm hearing there's some turmoil in the front office between worldwide arrests and Tom Thibodeau. But if the Knicks do fire Thibodeau, well, he pronounced it differently. It's French, so I say Thibodeau. But if you fire Thibodeau, right? In my opinion, you have no choice but to hire Mark Jackson as New York Knicks head coach. You have no choice. I don't want to hear nothing about his views on sexuality, his views on his faith and things like that. This man, Mark Jackson, is a program builder and a borderline Hall of Fame point guard. You know what I'm saying? So you bring him in, he's a program builder. Golden State will not be what they are. Golden State when I have won their what they have 2 or 3 championships. I don't remember. Without Mark Jackson setting that up for Steve Kerr to finish the job. Mark Jackson could be what Buck Showalter would be for the Mets. A proven program winner guy, program builder type of guy who will enable to on his second try. Well, Buck Showalter had many tries, but on the second try. Both of them on the second try, well, in a sense, because this is Buck Showalter's second try with a New York team, and Mark Jackson's second try as a head coach in his hometown of New York. What better way? What better way to make a triumphant return as an NBA head coach and bring your hometown team back to the playoffs for years to come? But that is only if they decide to leave Thibodeau. I don't think it's time to do that. They need to bring up with Thibodeau. They need to bring in an offensive coordinator for his team because the offenses without Derrick Rose is a lot to be desired. His rotations, player rotations, he needs to get out of his personal things against certain players. If the players are producing, ride with that. And this is a challenge for Leon Rose and worldwide arrest in the front office. Scott Perry, please. trade Julius Randle. Please trade Evan Fournier. Kemba Walker still has a role in this team. He still has a role in this team as a starting point guard, and you got Derrick Rose. You can still go back with that. But the only reason why they won't do that, and the only reason why I'm like 50-50 on that, because Quentin Grimes and McBride are players that need to be on the floor. So that is my take on the New York Knicks. I'm going to speak briefly about the poor excuse of a Major League Baseball organization locking out the players. And now the season's not going to start on time. They're going to lose some games during the season, just when my New York Mets are probably the favorites to win the World Series. Ain't that some bullshit? Listen, get those players back on the field. Release the lockout. Let's get baseball season started. This is March 5th now. Spring training should have been rolling right now. I should have been seeing some spring training games right now. The Max Scherzer and DeGrom. Hopefully they resign Conforto. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm even hearing rumors the Mets are flirting with Freddie Freeman. Wow. But the thing is, that's the reason why these owners locked out the players, because Uncle Steve is messing shit up. Steve Cohen is going for the gusto, and that's why this lockout happened. They wanted to stop the richest owner in Major League Baseball from owning the league for the next 10 years with his money and his ability to get players. This is what it's all about. Steve Cohen came in, brought the team from Fred Wilpon and Jeff Wilpon. Now, his second year as sole owner of the New York Mets. He's about to monopolize the entire Major League Baseball because of his money. That's why this lockout really happened. Forget about what anybody told you. This lockout, because of the owners, was to stop Steve Cohen, in my opinion. Fight me on that a little later on that, guys. Fight me on that a little later. But for now, it's your man Big Dog signing off on this True Players podcast episode. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. You can listen to the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and also please view the video version of the podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's get my subscribers up. Any donations? I haven't set that up yet for you guys to leave donations, but anything that will keep the show going and consistent with the shows, please help a brother out. It's your man Big Dom signing off on this True Players podcast. Stay tuned to a new episode. We'll be going live with Joey G, possibly this coming Tuesday, possibly this coming Monday or Tuesday. Me and Joey G will be going live again on True Players podcast. All right, it's your man Big Dom. I'm signing off on this podcast. I'll holler at you guys again. Peace.